and has also been doing a lot of different interviews and talking about some of these controversial subjects. But in today's video, I do want to talk about the article that was released by CNN. It's entitled "The Behind the Scenes Story of a WNBA Controversy, Caitlin Clark, DiJonai Carrington, and a Journalist's Questions." And this is the excerpt in the book where we talk about the controversy surrounding the eye poke saga, where DiJonai Carrington poked Caitlin Clark in the eye. The entire internet was up in an uproar.
The WNBA world is on the edge of eruption. Christine Brennan's book hits shelves tomorrow, and DiJonai Carrington is already shouting defamation before a single page has even been turned. At the same time, leaked excerpts hint at some jaw-dropping backstage chaos that makes last season's eye poke drama feel like a playground scuffle. Believe me, what's coming is about to shake the very foundation of what we thought we knew about this league. So now the question is, are DiJonai Carrington's defamation cries just a desperate move, or is there real weight behind her claim?
Contributor Christine Brennan, whose new book, On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports, looks at how the Indiana Fever star has really been a catalyst for the explosion in popularity of the WNBA and really all.
So here we are again, folks, another day, another eruption in the WNBA drama saga. And honestly, at this rate, it's hard not to wonder if the league should just rebrand itself as a reality show, because let's face it, the basketball is slowly fading into the background of all this chaos.
The Christine Brennan book is coming out tomorrow, and I'm just gonna say it. It's gonna change the WNBA as we know it. The Christine Brennan book.
Christine Brennan's book about Caitlin Clark drops tomorrow. And before a single page has even been opened, players are already throwing around lawsuit threats like confetti. DiJonai Carrington's out here talking defamation, as if she woke up a legal expert overnight. Honestly, the audacity is kind of impressive. But let's rewind and get to the heart of what's really going on. All of this traces back to that eye poke incident last season, the one that sent the entire internet into a frenzy. You remember it, DJ poked Caitlin in the eye mid-game, and somehow Christine Brennan ended up painted as the villain, just for asking basic journalism questions. The questions weren't even that harsh. Brennan simply asked DJ if she meant to hit Caitlin in the eye. That's it. That's journalism 101. You ask the obvious question, the one everyone's already thinking. But somehow, in the WNBA, asking something that direct turns you into public enemy number one.
Yeah. Did you, when you went and kind of swatted at Caitlin, did you intend to hit her in the eye, and if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me, but no, I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her, so obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of play.
And the response? The WNBA Players Association fired back with a statement that felt like a full-on assault on Christine Brennan. They dropped this whole message called a message on behalf of the one of a fall. And honestly, it was wild. They claimed this week was supposed to be about honoring A'ja Wilson, Caitlin, DJ, and Napheesa Collier for everything they've brought to the court all season long.
Later on in the game, they caught you guys laughing about it?
No, I just told you I didn't even know I hit her, so I can't laugh about something I didn't know happened.
But here's the thing, they pretty much leaked that Caitlin was winning Rookie of the Year before it was even official. Like, seriously, way to ruin your own award show, guys. Real smooth. Nothing says professionalism like spoiling the big reveal before it even happens.
In time had not been announced yet. So we talked about A'ja Wilson was MVP, Napheesa was Defensive Player of the Year, DiJonai was the Most Improved Player, and Caitlin was Rookie of the Year. Hers had not been announced yet, and they essentially leaked it, and everybody knew that she was going to win Rookie of the Year from this statement. So that was mishap number.
But then they really came for Christine Brennan. They actually said, "We call BS," in an official statement. Like, who cleared that? Are we running a professional sports league or starring in a high school drama club? They went on, to the unprofessional members of the media like Christine Brennan, "You are not fooling anyone." They accused her of baiting DJ into a false narrative meant to stoke racist, homophobic, and misogynistic hate online. They said she couldn't hide behind her tenure, and basically accused her of abusing her press credentials. And they closed it out with "We see you." like it was some kind of threat.
Statement. So that was mishap number 1 from this note, but we continue. We were not going to distract from their successes, nor will we dim the glow of the spotlight that centered on them. They have earned that focus and celebration, but we will take this moment now to stand up for them and the rest of our members, every single one of them, because we call BS. To the unprofessional members of the media like Christine Brennan, you are not fooling anyone. That so-called interview in the name of journalism was a blatant attempt to bait a professional athlete into participating in a narrative that is false and designed to fuel racist, homophobic, and misogynistic vitriol on social media. You cannot hide behind your tenure. They go on with another thing about how she abused her privileges of being a reporter and the credentials that she had.
The entire statement came off like a teenage clapback, not something from a professional body representing elite athletes. It was honestly embarrassing. Instead of handling their concerns like adults, they cranked the drama up to 11. But this is where it really gets interesting. The book reveals what went down behind the scenes after that interview, and it's way messier than anyone thought. Supposedly, DJ's teammate, Dana Borner, approached Brennan right after and started confronting her for disrespecting and attacking her teammate. Now, Borner didn't yell or lose it, but she made it clear she was upset. She wouldn't even shake Brennan's hand when she tried to introduce herself. 3 times, Brennan tried to explain what happened, and 3 times, Borner just repeated, "You disrespected my teammate," like a broken record. And here's the kicker. A WNBA official called Brennan later that same day, just to say her questions were completely appropriate.
I think they took away from the message that they were trying to share, that they were upset with Christine Brennan. They also released this very quickly after that interview. That was everything that was going on.
This official flat out told her the players just don't get it, that they have no clue what real media exposure even is. They said the players were sheltered in college and hit the WNBA completely unprepared for real journalism. The official literally said, "Your questions were not vulgar, rude, or inappropriate. Your questions were fine." And then added, "Unfortunately, most of our players have zero idea what real media exposure is. They don't know what real coverage is. They've been shielded at college, and then they come to the WNBA not knowing what real questions are. Frankly, our players just don't get it." Think about that. The league itself admitting their players can't handle basic media questions, while the players' union acts like Brennan committed some kind of war crime. The disconnect is absolutely wild.
Hours later, a WNBA official called me in my hotel room. The official had been informed by the Connecticut Sun PR staff about my questions to Carrington and Bonner's response. The league official told me that the Sun PR people had told Carrington that she should not have gone to a teammate to confront a credentialed reporter, but rather should have gone to the PR people who could have handled the situation. Then the WNBA official, she says this. She says, "I have a simple test about whether questions are appropriate or not. They should not be vulgar, they should not be rude, or they should not be inappropriate. Your questions were not vulgar, rude, or inappropriate. Your questions were fine. Unfortunately, most of our players have zero idea what real media exposure is. They don't know what real coverage is. They have been shielded at college, and then they come to the WNBA not knowing what real questions are. Frankly, our players just don't get it." The official requested that their name not be used due to the sensitive nature of the issue. This part really stood out to me because there is clearly a disconnect between WNBA officials.
But wait, it gets even better. The book also reveals another moment, right before a playoff game. DJ supposedly overheard reporters talking about a lineup change involving her girlfriend, Nelissa Smith, and she absolutely lost it. She came storming through the curtains, accusing them of talking trash about Nelissa. The reporters were literally just discussing basketball strategy they'd been told not to publish yet. Nothing personal, nothing negative, just standard sports journalism. But DJ heard what she wanted to hear and went straight into attack mode. She locked eyes with Christine Brennan and said, "I walked past and I heard you talking crap about Nelissa. It was you. Out of your mouth." Like, imagine being so paranoid you think every conversation is about your girlfriend. And then, and this is the part that really gets me, she left a voicemail for Nelissa before the game, saying reporters were talking badly about her, right before a win-or-go-home playoff matchup. Imagine being a player and getting that kind of message ahead of the biggest game of your season. Nelissa then approached Brennan and asked, "What did you say to me?" And when Brennan tried to explain, Nelissa just called her a liar and walked off. A WNBA communications director who saw it all described the moment as a bad game of telephone. This is the level of professionalism we're working with. Players creating drama from nothing, riling up teammates before critical games, and then flipping the script like they're the ones being attacked when reporters are just doing their jobs. The whole Nelissa situation really exposes how toxic this atmosphere has become. Here's a player already under playoff pressure, and now she's got a voicemail from her girlfriend saying reporters are supposedly trashing her. That's the kind of thing that can completely mess with a player's head right before they need to perform. And for what? Because DJ couldn't handle overhearing a normal basketball conversation. She twisted routine sports journalism into some personal attack on her relationship. The paranoia and victim mindset here, it's off the charts. What makes it even worse is that Nelissa was already facing questions about her role on the team. She was getting moved out of the starting lineup, and that's never easy for any player. The last thing she needed was fake drama about reporters supposedly trashing her. But DJ couldn't help herself. She had to turn it into something about her and her emotions. Never mind that she might have thrown her girlfriend off mentally before one of the biggest games of the season. Never mind that she stirred up conflict where there wasn't any. She just had to be in the spotlight. And now, with the book about to drop, DJ's crying defamation. The irony? It's unbelievable. She's mad about being accurately quoted and having her behavior described, like somehow that's illegal. Someone really needs to explain that defamation means false statements, not just unflattering true ones.
Came out against Christine Brennan because she was questioning DiJonai about the eye poke situation. It became this whole thing. And why are stories like this being brought up in the present time? I think it's still being brought up because unfortunately some of the things that happened last season, some of the messaging that happened last season, some of just the drama that surrounded the WNBA last season hasn't gone away this season. And unfortunately, it's not only hurting just a couple of players, it's hurting the
timing of all this is especially frustrating, because the WNBA is standing at a turning point. The league's popularity is soaring, largely because of Caitlin Clark, and they are heading into critical CBA negotiations at season's end. This should be the moment when everyone's united, building something bigger. But instead, it's being dragged down by petty drama. We're watching the same old patterns that made last season spiral. Players who can't handle media pressure. A league office that won't stand behind its own people. And a culture where victimhood gets more attention than actual progress. And the book? It doesn't stop here. There are claims involving other players and coaches, even some about Commissioner Kathy Engelbert that sound genuinely damning. Cheryl Reeves already deleting tweets that were quoted in the book, which is, honestly, hilarious. Nothing screams I didn't say that like frantically, deleting evidence that you did. What makes it all so ridiculous is that this entire mess could have been avoided if people had just acted like adults. DJ could have taken her concerns to the PR team. The Players' Union could have had a quiet, respectful conversation with Brennan instead of dropping that cringe-worthy public statement. The league could have stood by its officials instead of letting the players run the show. But no, everyone chose the loudest, messiest option every single time. And now here we are, with players threatening lawsuits over reporting that's actually true, while the league's image takes blow after blow at the exact moment it should be soaring. And the hardest part? This doesn't just affect the players caught up in the drama. When DJ starts chaos right before a playoff game, it ends up hurting her team's chances. When the Players' Union puts out statements using phrases like "we call BS," it drags the league's professionalism through the mud. When players can't handle basic questions, it just makes things harder for every reporter trying to cover the game. And let's be real about one more thing, DJ's defamation threats? They're probably just noise. Christine Brennan's been doing this for decades. She's not dropping unverified claims, especially not in a book with named sources and eyewitnesses. She knows exactly where the legal lines are. And the fact that DJ is threatening lawsuits before even reading the book? That says it all. She's not focused on facts. She's focused on trying to scare Brennan into silence to actually addressing whatever concerns she might have. And that right there, that's the kind of behavior that keeps holding this league back. Instead of locking in on basketball and building something great, we get a cycle of drama and controversy. Players spending more time online griping about coverage than actually working on their craft. And what stings the most? It's all so avoidable. Caitlin Clark's shown exactly how to navigate the spotlight. She answers the tough questions. She stays out of the drama. She keeps her focus on the court. That's how you help a league grow. That's how you carry it forward. But apparently, that's asking too much from some players. They want the perks that come with fame and media attention, without accepting the responsibility. They want to be seen as stars.
Like higher-ups in the WNBA and the WNBA players. The WNBA official is telling this to Christine Brennan, basically saying, we got your back, those questions were fine, the players just don't know how to handle the media. And then on the flip side, you have the WNBA PA, they are coming out with a statement that is basically saying, you asked the worst questions. These questions were fueling racism and misogyny and homophobia. Like, you couldn't have asked a worse question. There is clearly a disconnect, and that disconnect is never going to be good within a business. Whichever side you think is right or whichever side you think is wrong, there should not be this much of a disconnect. If WNBA officials feel this way about their players, then they need to do a better job at helping their players to understand this. If they see something that the WNBA PA puts out, the note that they put out that was so condemning of Christine Brennan, they need to be talking to them and be like, hey ladies.
Without acting like professionals. And the WNBA Players Association? Their statement really showed us where they stand. Instead of opening the door to a real conversation about media relations, they went full scorched earth on Christine Brennan. They made it personal. They made it public. And they made it ugly, with phrases like "we call BS" and "we see you." That's not how professional organizations deal with conflict. And the part accusing Brennan of fueling racist and misogynistic hate? That was rich. As if asking a player whether a foul was intentional somehow sparks targeted online hate. Come on. That's not truth, it's deflection. It's weaponizing serious issues to shut down basic, valid questions. And the union telling Brennan she couldn't hide behind her tenure? That was almost laughable. Since when is experience and a respected track record something to hide behind? That's literally what qualifies someone to do their job. But somehow, in the WNBA, a solid track record in journalism paints a target on your back. And what really sticks with me is this whole situation could have been a turning point, a teachable moment for everyone involved. Instead of going after Brennan, the Players Union had a chance to spark a meaningful conversation about media relations, how to face tough questions with poise. They could have partnered with the league, maybe even created real training to help players navigate the spotlight. But no. They went full nuclear. They turned Brennan into a villain, as if doing her job was some kind of betrayal. And now, look where we are. Players threatening lawsuits, and the league looking like it's spiraling. That book dropping tomorrow? It's not just pages, it's a reckoning. Because all those players who thought they could control the narrative are about to learn that journalism doesn't play by their rules. You can't scare reporters into silence. And you definitely can't threaten your way out of being held accountable. DiJonai Carrington's about to learn that one the hard way. She can shout about defamation all day long, but the truth doesn't flinch. And if she really thinks she has a case, she better have one hell of a lawyer, because going toe-to-toe with a veteran like Brennan isn't going to end well. This whole situation, it's just another reminder that
this question to me, how we judge questions, it didn't seem vulgar, it didn't seem rude, it didn't seem inappropriate. I feel like, help us understand why you guys are feeling this way. It seems like so many things across the WNBA is like a clapback mentality instead of a solution-based mentality. And I feel like it goes across the board. The WNBA's PA statement, I don't think was a solution-based statement. It was a clapback statement. It was like, we're going to show you. This is how we feel. We need to get this out. We need to get this out quick. Let's put a little attitude in it. This is our clapback at you because we're mad at you. But they didn't think of the solution to the problem that they have with Christine Brennan. And then on the flip side, this WNBA official who was saying this to Christine Brennan, like the mixed messages, no business is going to function properly if that's the way that everything is functioning. Like, you're always going to have this dysfunctional relationship between reporters, the higher ups, and
WNBA keeps tripping over its own feet. They've got this golden window right now, rising popularity, more eyes than ever, and yet they keep letting the drama and unprofessionalism overshadow the game. What really speaks volumes is that quiet admission from a league official that players just aren't ready for real media coverage. And that's a scathing reflection on how the WNBA has been running things. If your athletes can't handle simple, direct questions, that's not on the media. That's on you. But instead of confronting that truth, the Players Union chose to go after the one person asking those questions. They turned Christine Brennan into the villain, for doing exactly what her job requires, while ignoring the deeper issue. Their players might actually need help navigating the spotlight. The gap between what league officials are saying behind closed doors and what the union is putting out in public? It exposes just how fractured the organization really is. How can you lead a professional league when every arm is pulling in a different direction? All eyes are on tomorrow now, because when that book drops, the cracks may turn into fault lines, no doubt about it. And something tells me DJ's threats are just the opening act in the storm that's coming. The WNBA had a real shot to learn from last season's mess, but instead, they doubled down on the same chaos that nearly broke them before. What's coming? It's not just another headline. This is about to be the league's biggest eruption yet. DJ Carrington's defamation talk? That's just the appetizer. Christine Brennan's book drops tomorrow, and it's going to rip the curtain back on everything that's been brewing in the background. This league keeps repeating its own mistakes, and now, the bills come due. Everyone's about to feel the fallout from all that dysfunction. If you want to stay locked in on what's about to go down, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Believe me, you don't want to miss what's next. After tomorrow, the WNBA won't look anything like it did before.